Yes, this is episode 14, The Odyssey.
In real life,
still
no
wins.
matter how skilled you are, be scared of guns.
I mean, in this show, even like characters that like aren't anything yet, they just use the same name.
He only has like one eye hole on his mask.
Right. That like Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
It does a pretty good job of reinterpreting characters in a way that works for the universe they're building.
And that's why in Doomsday, which we can talk about after,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a struggle because there's a lot of TV shows. And it doesn't make any sense either.
Should you have your universe like established? Hello everybody, and welcome to Remember the Arrowverse, the number one podcast about where there's two guys about the Arrowverse. There's probably another one.
There's probably something.
I mean, but the
I've certainly
Arrowverse
never
is
seen
kind
it.
of old at this point, so I don't know how
True,
many
maybe
currently.
active.
Yeah,
Arrowverse
we might be
podcasts?
the only active Arrowverse podcast.
You never know. You never know.
You know,
That'd be pretty cool, actually. That'd be pretty cool
if we were
active.
the only active one. I'm sure there's gotta be others.
There's
gotta
always
be
something.
There's gotta be another podcast that's exactly this, but like with people that know what they're doing.
Right.
I feel like that's gotta be the case. Okay. I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
Yes.
Real quick, this is Dustin. I'm Cademan. We don't always say that. We need to start making sure we say that.
I noticed.
I'm turning a leaf and saying that every week we're gonna tell you our names.
Every single week.
Every single
That
week.
way you don't forget it.
Right. And if I do forget it, I'll give you $20.
Okay.
So this will be a thing.
This
Anyway.
will be a thing.
Hopefully I don't go broke because of this.
So who's this then?
Yeah, that's Charles.
Okay.
I'm gonna set him up. I kind of just he lost his hat. That's fine. We're fine. No, just editing the video, I was like, there needs to be something just to like sort of fill out the frame.
So you're like, skeleton.
So yeah, I was like, and I bought this skeleton because I was walking through Walmart around Halloween, and I was like, I could put him in my closet. So
That's funny.
So that's that's why I purchased him originally. He was named Charles by some random guy in the Walmart that was like, "Oh hey, it's Charles," as I was pushing him around in my shopping cart. Anyway, that's not important. He's a cool dude. Yeah. Elephant in the room.
Yeah.
We broke our one rule of this podcast,
which is
only one of us is allowed to have a beard at once. This is the first time for the podcast both of us have a beard
at the same time.
Because as soon as you grew your beard, I went down to my mustache. Where I had that for
true.
like a month.
That is true.
And now I'm back with the beard.
Is not a beard.
Exactly. So anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna keep the beard. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
So, but one of us is gonna have to go. One of us, because we can't have two episodes where we have the same face.
Right.
Next thing you know, I'll start wearing glasses, and then people just won't be able to tell us.
And then exactly. They'll just be like, "Well, which one's which?"
Exactly.
I'll start wearing those.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be undistinguishable.
Yeah. I forget I wear them. Like people, always.
Other people I know who have them say that too.
Yeah, but people are always like, "Man, you always wear those." And I'm like, I just forget they're on my head, and I don't take them off when I go places and stuff.
Yeah, no. Yep. A lot of people have said that before. They just get used to it, like rings. They just get used to it.
Right. Yeah. Well, especially because like these, like I could do backflips and they wouldn't fall off.
Right.
And it's just they're just designed perfectly to just tuck onto your ears, and you forget they're there.
Right.
But we aren't here to talk about headphones or beards.
That is true.
We are a little bit. But mostly we're here to talk about what episode of
I believe this would be episode 14. Let me
Okay.
double check here. Yes, this is episode 14, The Odyssey.
Okay. The Odyssey?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. We were just talking about the movie. Yeah. That's wow.
So we're just gonna do it like last time, I imagine.
Yeah.
Walk it through it.
Yep.
All right.
So, I found this sort of plot synopsis on the Arrow fandom website. Shout out to that website. I probably won't give you viruses. It didn't seem to give me any.
Okay. Oh no. Oh no.
But anyway, they had a good synopsis that worked for exactly what I wanted. So that's what we're using. So thank you, whoever wrote that and put it on the Arrow fandom
Thank you.
website.
Makes our job a lot easier.
Yeah, so we're just gonna walk through it, and Dustin's gonna read it here.
And then we'll
when
stop.
we have something to say, we'll stop and talk about that. And yeah,
Perfect.
So, when you're ready.
Alrighty, the Odyssey. The Hood crashes into Moira's office. He orders her to tell him about Walter's disappearance. She begs him to spare her life, showing him pictures of him and Thea. Newsflash: the Hood is Oliver.
His Oliver Queen. Right, yeah.
Oliver lowers his guard, and she calls for help after pulling out a gun and shooting him. She hits him, and although he escapes, he leaves blood in her office. Okay, can I just say how goated it is that Moira, Oliver's mom, actually hit him? Granted, I know there's this emotional, psychological stuff going on. It's not like actually like skill for skill. But think about all the skilled killers, or like even he's gone up against psychological villains already who play more mentally, like the firefighter guy, who are more mental than they are per se.
Yeah.
None of them touch him in that, except for granted the evil era.
Right.
Yeah. Besides that, obviously. But she is supposed to be a regular person, and she actually hits him to the point where he evades and goes away. We've seen multiple times he'll fight people with guns and he'll win. Right? He shouldn't be afraid of a gun at this. I mean, granted, he's a human being, so he should be. But since this is an unrealistic TV show, he's fought guys with machine guns.
In real life, no matter how skilled you are, be scared of guns. Guns are scary for anyone.
Right. But he's fighting guys with machine guns, and then she pulls out a pistol, hits him, and actually makes him run away while leaving his blood there.
Yeah. I think if you're the Batman of the universe you live in, it's okay to not be scared of guns. But I do think it does I think they do a good job with Moira, because in the scene, something that I think is like worth thinking about, and this is something I've kind of learned in writing, is anything a character does should paint a picture of who that person is. Right. So I think in this scene, it really paints that she's a complicated woman, because on the one hand, she does like point out the picture, and she's like, but what about my kids? I care about my kids. And I think she does care about her kids.
Right. Obviously she does.
Yeah, which will, that will be brought up later with Oliver, where he's like, no one else has ever done that.
But on the other hand, it's like Stone Cold Killer.
Right,
the next second, it's like, as soon as you put down your gun, we're literally going to kill you.
The next second, she pulls out a gun and just like hits him with a bullet,
which is goated aura.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, and that's what I like, is because it's like
and like a character you don't fully understand.
Right. It's very complicated. It seems like maybe she would like to just be a mom that cares about her kids, but she also has to have this other side because of circumstance or whatever, where it's like
certain things.
Also, I'm kind of evil and kind of manipulative and terrible.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. And I like that about her character. So.
Right. And then right. In the building parking lot garage, Felicity starts her car and finds Oliver waiting for her in the back seat. That's kind of a little bit creepy.
A little bit creepy.
He pulls out of his hood, revealing his identity to her and asking her to take him to his hideout since he cannot go to the hospital. She agrees to take him there, remarking that the revelation clears up a lot of things. She walks into the hideout stained with blood, asking Diggle to help her bring Oliver down since he is too heavy. She subsequently helps Diggle save Oliver as they work on his gunshot wound. Oliver flashbacks to the island. Okay. Another goated thing about this. First off, I have a complaint about this and something funny and good about this.
Okay.
How the heck does Felicity, who is loud and clumsy in her high heels, clomp down those stairs without Diggle noticing? But when she does get downstairs, the speed at which Diggle pulls out its gun and turns around ready to kill anything that was downstairs was goated. Like, she was like, hey, and he like spins around and is like ready to go. Right? Like, that is hype. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool, and it's very fits his character where he's like pulls out gun, turns around like super quickly, ready to because there's an intruder. But then the dislike on that would be, again, how does she get all the way down there when she's not a stealthy person? Even when she's trying to be stealthy, isn't stealthy. Right. Very loud, wearing like high heels down those metal stairs. Like, how does one?
Maybe there's like a deleted scene where like her heel gets stuck in the stairs and then she just drops all over down the steps.
Oh, that'd be hype.
That would actually be a pretty comedic moment, but probably not what the episode needed. At that point.
No, because it was more of a serious thing.
Yeah, so. It would probably pull away from it.
Yeah. So Slade is training Oliver. This is back on the island in hand-to-hand combat. Oliver is struggling to master the techniques. Later, Slade shows him a map of the island. He explains that there's a supply plane every 3 months, and they have to act soon to make it off of the island via the plane. The airstrip is heavily guarded, but the biggest issue is a guard tower with bulletproof glass. It will be Oliver's job to take out the sniper in the control tower.
Right.
The next day, as they set out to the airstrip in the woods, Oliver steps on an old landmine. Just as they discussing whether Slade can disarm it, several soldiers head towards them. Slade leaves, and Oliver pretends to be one of the soldiers. Slade returns to take out the soldiers, placing one of them on top of the landmine, so Oliver can escape. Goated scene.
Yes. I love Slade and Oliver. I think, part of me is like, I think we spend more time on the island, like in flashbacks and stuff as the show goes on.
Right.
Because like I keep watching, and I'm like, I remember the island being like so much bigger. Right. I think part of it is like, you watch when you're younger, and then like you inflate stuff in your brain.
Right.
You're like, oh, what's so cool? But I think also part of it is as the show goes. I will say.
Yeah, definitely as the show's gone, there's way more.
Right. Yeah. And like, but I like the relationship, and how it sort of develops between Slade and Oliver. I think it's a very fun thing. And kind of wish we could have gotten more of it in the show, because spoiler kind of, but we have 2 seasons of it, and then Slade's mostly out of the show picture, from then on, which is disappointing because he's such a good character, played very well by the guy who plays the pale orc in The Hobbit. So, fun fact.
Which one? Is that as Azog?
I think so.
He plays Azog?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I love Azog. That makes sense though.
Right. And if you like look, like you can tell like in his face shape that like the CGI model, was, because everything's so CGI in that movie. Anyway, very good actor, very good at playing Slade Wilson. Do I have another point? I don't think so.
No, he is a great character though. Yeah. I love how he just like leaves him, and Oliver's like, wait, and then he comes back. Like he wasn't gonna actually leave him. Yeah. It was just like he's very tactical, and so if that means getting rid of Oliver, he absolutely will do it. But like also he's not like untactical and just like, I don't want him, and then leave.
Yeah, it is a little bit like like the Star Wars cliche of like the character that's like out there for themselves, and then they leave like during the third act because they're like, oh, I'm out here for myself, I don't need to help anyone, and then they come back and of course save the day. It did
Right.
feel a little bit like that, but I think it was different.
Yeah,
I
it was a
think
little different, but I could see
I
where
think
that
it
would feel that way.
was a little bit more of him just wanting to mess with Oliver, because we
Well,
see that in other scenes.
you see with him that like he wants Oliver to be afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Elsewhere on the island, Edward Fries asks Yang Feng Gulong.
Sure.
Somebody's in the comments is gonna butcher it. Like, yeah. To help him train some new arrivals in archery. Interesting. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was trying to remember who
Yeah.
any of those characters
It's
were.
the villain on the island
Right.
technically, and then
Yes.
the
Yeah.
OG Arrow.
I wonder if he's anyone. I should look that up.
I'm pretty
Like
sure
in
he
comic
is.
books.
I think he is.
Probably he is. It would make
I'm
sense for
forgetting.
him to be.
I should look. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, in this show, even the characters that like aren't anything yet, they just use the same name as that character.
Right.
So
Well,
they've done that a lot in this
and
season so far.
a lot of times they'll use the same name and then it's
Multiple times.
nothing like the character.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Or like very slightly that character.
That night, Oliver tells Slade about Laurel and his infidelity. Slade says, right. Oh, yes.
His cheating.
Right. Yeah. Slade says the man who tortured him used to be his partner and friend. His name was Billy Wintergreen. Yes. And he was a godfather of Slade's son. When Edward took Slade and Billy hostage, Billy betrayed Slade and joined Edward's camp. Oliver and Slade then arrived at the airstrip. That was interesting to get to know that a little bit, because up until that point, I was like, wait, are you?
Right.
I couldn't figure out quite if it was Slade who did it or not. But I was
Mhm.
like, good for clarification a second time.
Yeah.
Back to present day, Diggle stitches up Oliver. He seems to think Oliver will be okay and is surprised Felicity isn't more shocked by the situation she found herself in. Felicity tells him that while she didn't necessarily know that Oliver was the Hood, she knew he had some kind of secret because of his horrible cover-up stories while requesting favors from her. She points out several examples that just don't make any sense once she finished the favors. When she mentions the energy drink from Vertigo, Diggle tells her that the substance was Vertigo and she was instrumental in taking down the Count, and that they couldn't have done it without her help. Back in sorry, were you gonna say something?
No. I mean, it's just that was funny. I
Yeah,
love
right. She doesn't know.
like the quote unquote lame excuses that like Oliver gave her, and then referencing back to it is fun. So that's all I have to say on that.
Right. Back in flashbacks, as Slade takes out the guards with his silent rifle and sword, Oliver makes his way to the tower. However, the guard pulls out a gun on Oliver. That fight was good.
Mm-hmm.
Because it didn't make Oliver all of a sudden so good.
Right.
Beating a guard, it doesn't make sense that he would be beating a guard at that point, and I think that was just a good example.
Yeah.
In present day, Oliver begins to take a turn for the worst. First, he has seizures, and then his heart stops. Thankfully, they have a defibrillator on hand, and Diggle tries to shock him back to life. They realize that the defibrillator is not working, and Felicity figures out that is a problem with the wiring. After she fixes it, they shock him again, and Oliver's heart starts beating. Felicity explains she has been working with computers since she was 7, and wires are wires. Imagine they developed the whole show just for him to die from a bullet wound from his mom.
That'd be awesome. Like
That'd be
not
so
even I don't think we're even like halfway through season 1.
That would be so funny. He's taking out all these guys just to get shot by his mom and then dies.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
If like because I have this problem with TV shows. This is a total side tangent, but it's okay. TV shows will always do like these fake out deaths and like, oh, maybe the show actually happened in like the wrong reality or whatever, and you're always just like, yeah, I know that they aren't gonna die. I know that's not a different reality that's real, because that there has to be a show.
Right. And it's so
it
cool
would
if you can bring back the character where you're like, oh my goodness, they're not dead.
Right.
Who would have known?
Yeah. But like, how cool would it be? And I think Game of Thrones did this. But where they bring up one character, presenting them as the main character.
Yeah.
Just to eventually actually have them die.
Right.
Like, I think more TV shows should probably do that.
The Boys does do this ever so slightly.
Okay.
Where there's certain characters. Once characters get to the 5th season, they have to like plot armor. But the Boys universe is all about anti-plot armor. Where like a lot of characters just don't have plot armor, so you think, oh, this character's not going to die because it's a villain, and then they just die all of a sudden to something random.
Sure.
Granted, there are certain characters that they can't do that with. So, but yeah, I like shows like that though, because it makes it feel more real and realistic when like there's actual consequences, and you think that untouchable characters are untouchable, and they're actually not.
Yeah, and I like that. I feel like a good example is kind of the show Lost.
Okay.
Arrow was probably very inspired by the show Lost.
Yeah.
Side note. But like, because a lot of the characters do die, and they sort of have a rotating cast throughout.
Right.
Where like, characters will die and other characters will show up. And I do like sort of the uncertainty of like who's gonna live and die. Now with Lost, I think kind of the problem is, that if a character dies, it's usually gonna be a big moment. They aren't gonna just like but there's other examples of characters kind of dying elsewhere. Anyway, killing characters is cool.
Yeah.
Arrow won't usually do it.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. Slade shows up at the last minute to save Oliver before the guard makes a phone call. Oliver's job is to stay in the tower to not let anyone inside. After Slade leaves, Oliver picks up the phone and places a call to Laurel. He hears her voice. He hears her voice a few times, but cannot say anything. Just then, Slade appears and smashes the phone case. Smashes the phone case. When the plane captain radios to the tower the verification code, Oliver is able to figure out the answer. Slade tells Oliver he'll be ordering an airstrike on the island once they are gone.
That's why it's called the Odyssey. Was because of that part.
Yes. Oliver says he is tired of thinking only of himself and refuses to let Yang Feng die. Slade gives him 3 hours to return, or he'll leave without him. Felicity asks why Diggle helps Oliver because she thinks that he is the kind of man that would have a problem with Oliver killing people. John tells Felicity that having to protect a drug and child trafficking warlord when he was in the military, or so that he had to protect that person.
Right.
In an ensuring firefight with insurgents, he ended up killing a teenager. After that event, John struggled with whether or not he was a good man. Working with Oliver makes him feel like a good man again. Back on the island, Oliver finds Yeo in a tent and tells him they have a way to leave the island. Yeo won't leave and says the reason is a who And then Edward walks in, and Yeo knocks Oliver out. That's right.
Yeah.
Slade then proceeds to tell the plane that it's clear to land. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Edward tries to figure out why Oliver would return. Oliver asks whether he'll be fighting Yeo again, and is told that he is to be executed. Billy starts beating up Oliver, who tells the masked man he knows who he used to be and taunts him. At this point, Slade arrives, causing a distraction through explosions, and subsequently gets into a fight with Billy. Slade kills his former friend, but a moment later is shot by Edward. Oliver helps the two escape. Just as the plane leaves. As they are leaving camp, they encounter one guard who Oliver disarms and knocks out using a technique Slade taught him. Back at Slade's hideout, they talk about the next step. Slade thinks Oliver has progressed, and now they might have a chance of surviving.
So one minor complaint.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like there's a little bit of missed opportunity. There we go. I feel like there should be
this too.
Okay. I feel like there should maybe be more of Oliver being terrible on the island before they're like, oh, he's a good guy. You know, he's trying to do better now.
Okay.
I kind of, and I think because kind of what they're going for is that, like, well, he was always kind of a good guy underneath. But,
yes.
But I think,
or just wasn't as bad as
right. Yeah. I think it maybe would be more interesting, and I could just be saying this because it's not what we got.
Yeah.
But if, like, we had more of him, like, you know, just making the selfish decision before, like, it eventually kind of gets beat out of him on the island.
So, something I noticed.
Yeah.
With Billy.
Okay.
I don't know these characters well enough in comics to know this for a guarantee thing, and I haven't looked it up because I don't want to get spoiled.
Who's Billy?
Billy Wintergreen.
Oh, okay. Yes. Gotcha.
Slade's partner.
Yeah.
I noticed that when they went to kill Billy, he stabs them in one eye. And just leaves him there. Right? And it's supposedly supposed to be dead. But let's think about this. One, if you look at the knife, it's barely sticking in there. If anything, it stabbed his eye. It didn't look like it was straight through his head, right? They could totally bring the character back if they wanted. And I'm just noticing the one eye situation. And I'm like, is this a Deathshot reference? Like, are they like trying to set up something? And they're probably not going to. They're probably not thinking about it that much. And it probably is dead. But I was like, that would be super cool. Because I don't know what Deathshot's actual name is. And
Floyd Lawton
is Deathshot
is dead.
So it's probably not. And Billy probably did just die. But I was thinking, I wish if that is the case and Billy did die, they should have done it better, because realistically, it doesn't look like he died. It just looks like he got knocked down and his eye was taken out.
What did we talk about this last week after the podcast?
We mentioned it.
I don't remember if we mentioned it in the. I think we talked about it after.
Yeah.
But I remember we did, because I remember saying, well, you know, in comic books, Deathstroke only has one eye, and that's why, that's why you see he only has like one eye hole on his mask.
Right.
Is because he has an eye patch in comic books. So anyway, maybe that has something to do with something. Maybe it doesn't.
Right. Right. So he could still be Deathstroke. But also, I'm pretty sure they're going to set up Slade for that. Right. In my opinion, that's kind of the impression I'm getting.
Yes. And I'm sure everyone who's watching this knows that is what happens.
Right.
But
it's still something that they could have done. If I hope that either, like, I'm unhappy if that's how Billy does die. If Billy's just dead and they do nothing else with it, I think that's a little bit dumb.
Okay.
Just because it doesn't, like, it's not like you slit his throat or something. It was not very confirmed, right? And I think they're trying to say it's confirmed, but it's like that's really like uncertain way. You know what I'm saying? It's like pushing somebody off a cliff and then saying they died and never looking over the edge, right?
Do you want me to tell you?
You can tell me if you want to.
Okay. Spoilers, kind of. I'm pretty sure he's dead. So
yeah, I think that's what they imply.
Pretty sure.
So
I think the reason for him
yeah
is so they can have the like mangled Deathstroke mask in like
right.
with like the spike going through it. And I think they have the spike like going through the eye hole.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is dead.
Right.
But it's just like
yeah.
I hope that they did something with it more.
I think his entire character
Billy
is so they could have
Slade.
the shot
right
of the Deathstroke mask on the island.
right
Because they're like, oh, those DC fanboys are gonna go crazy about having Deathstroke on the island.
Right.
I think that's the only reason his character actually exists, because he doesn't really do anything.
He fights he fights that one Fang a couple of times.
Right. And he tortures Oliver once. But like that's nothing that a different character couldn't do, Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's kind of there to be like the Boba Fett.
Right.
He just looks cool and then he dies.
So that you can have. Yeah. Edward speaks to his boss over the phone and assures him that the complications won't be a problem. Yayo walks up and is told that he has 5 minutes. We see that his daughter has been captured. She is the reason he has been loyal to Edward. Yayo Thie's daughter has a dragon tattoo on her back shoulder, an identical tattoo to which Oliver is seen with at the end of the episode. Again, I don't know what that means, but we're probably going to look into that later. I don't think you're supposed to know what that means at this point.
Yeah.
I think it has some reference to some group, though. In present day, Oliver wakes up. After updating the computer system and the foundry, Felicity also hacks the police crime lab and orders Oliver's blood sample to be destroyed. Oliver asked her if that means she wants to join the team, considering she's practically a member already. She tells him that she isn't going to join them, but wants to help find Walter. So she'll help them in missions until they do.
Can you imagine how different the rest of the show would be if like this was Felicity's last episode? She was like, I think I'm gonna join the team. Okay, bye.
I know. Yeah. Look, the CW has done worse before.
That's true.
Or characters leave and you'll never come back. Plastic Man. No, not Plastic Man. Elongated
Man who was clearly meant to be Plastic Man, but they were told they couldn't use him.
They couldn't. Yeah. So they used Elongated Man from comics,
which in these shows they do a lot. Like the Atom, when they introduced him, he was supposed to be Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Which is why he never shrinks for like at least the first season.
Right.
That he's in. He never shrinks.
But
he's just like Iron Man, basically. It's like, wait, is it the Atom's thing that he shrinks?
Right.
But because they wanted to use Blue Beetle, they were told no. They were like, well, the Atom then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Want to help find Walter. She leaves, and Diggle says he's worried about being able to protect Felicity. On top of all of that, Diggle says that he is still not sure about Moira is hiding and how she is involved with the book in the names. Oliver, who is still in denial that his own mother is involved in the disappearance of Walter, as well as the book with names and the sabotage of his father's yacht, makes it clear that his mother is off limits, at least until they learn more, citing her plea to spare her life for the sake of her children. Oliver returns home and informs Detective Lance and his family that his mother was attacked by the Hood After Quentin leaves, Oliver embraces Mora and assures her that the hood will never come back for her again. How could you confirm that? Can you beat the hood?
Wow. It is kind of amazing. Like, that's, that's one thing about superheroes is you always have to accept that the people are gonna be kind of dumb when it comes to secret identities.
Yeah.
Because especially Laurel, like, she should know by now. There's like no reason.
And also the fact that he's not wearing a mask is so stupid. I know that they have to have Barry Allen suggest that.
Right.
Which I'm really hoping that that's in the first season.
But no, Barry doesn't come until like halfway through season 2.
Oh my goodness. Wait so long. We're only like halfway through this season.
Because
no, it makes sense though.
Because season 1 they don't really do any like superpowers or anything.
Right. Just
and then
that like Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Because they like at that point don't know whether or not there's gonna be.
Right. And
the Arrow was made first.
It's kind of like, it's interesting because if you look at it, like, for a while every season introduces like a new element to the world.
Right.
Where it's like season 1 is just like Oliver being like an assassin ninja archer. Season 2 you introduce superpowers, you introduce Barry Allen, you introduce like other superpower stuff going on.
Right.
And then I believe season 3 they introduce magic.
Right.
And they're like, magic is also real in the world, which I think not a bad way to like sort of formulate your TV show. Where you're like,
focus on something per season.
Right. Just like focus on the character the first season and then introduce, there's this element in our world
that's
too.
Something interesting with,
and we can focus on that for one season and then we focus on magic and then
the Flash season 1. Because everybody, the way that universe is set up, James Gunn universe, I'll just use a Superman movie. Everybody knows about everything. So honestly, the world people know more about. Like normally, when you're watching like the MCU, we know more than the general public audience of the MCU. General people walking down the street in the MCU, we know more as the audience. That is not the case with James Gunn's universe. The people there know more about us. We don't know if there's Barry Allen or Wally West.
Wait, hold on. They know more about us?
No, I'm saying the people in Superman's universe. They know more about the universe than we do.
Yes.
Whereas normally it's flipped because we're an audience that sees everything in the
They know more than us.
Right.
Yeah.
So they would know, is Wally West the Flash or Barry Allen the Flash, or does Flash even exist? We don't know that yet. Right?
Right.
We don't know. Yes. Now we saw in Superman that there are some speedster references, like on wall paintings and stuff in the background. You see like Max Mercury and stuff like that.
Okay.
But with the CW, when Flash comes in, superpowers aren't a thing.
Right.
Right. So I know that chronology goes Arrow 1, Arrow 2, Flash 1, I think is how it goes. Or I mean, some episodes overlap, but like practically.
I think Flash season 1 is during season 3 of Arrow.
Right. I believe. Yeah, I think so because they crossed over a couple times.
But they introduced Barry in season 2. People like him enough that they're like, okay, we get to make that show now.
Right. But it kind of moves along at the same time because right after superpowers are identified in Arrow, boom, goes to the Flash, and a lot of people are like, nah, that wasn't actually a thing. We weren't there. Barry has powers, and for the longest time, people don't believe that Central City has powers until it's just generally accepted.
Right.
So yeah, no, that was definitely a good way of doing that. And it set up season 1 of Flash pretty well because like people are learning as we, the audience, are learning.
Right. Yeah, I think it is sort of an interesting debate of like, should you have your universe like established so you can just like get right to telling the stories that people know, or do you want to build up to it? And I think you can do both.
Right.
Because I really like James Gunn's Superman.
I love that. Supergirl.
Yeah. I haven't seen Supergirl yet. I will once it comes to streaming. But I dislike MCU Spider-Man. I don't dislike MCU Spider-Man. I dislike that they didn't give him an origin.
Yeah. Well, see, this is like you said, the debate because I'm going to use MCU as an example.
Mm-hmm.
MCU is super successful at making origin stories. They made the origin stories for all the characters, and a couple of characters like Spider-Man. They decided, frick, they just made Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies a couple years ago.
Right.
They made Tobey Maguire right before that. We make another origin story, everyone's going to know it, and it's not going to be whatever. So they just threw him in there at a random point, and then they made this whole storyline weird where with great power comes great responsibility. His third movie.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
But then after Endgame, they actually then started wanting to make the nitty gritty stuff, right? The problem is when it's really time is the issue, and this is what TV shows do have an advantage of. If you want to make fun comics book movies, you need the characters to be understood. You can't just, unless it's like an anime TV show, you can't just jump in to an experienced Green Arrow movie,
right,
or a Batman movie where he's been like around forever if it's the first movie of your universe, right? This is where James Gunn has a little bit of advantage because everything's assumed already. We assume that all the heroes are there, we just haven't seen them yet,
right.
So we assume Batman's in the universe, we just haven't seen him. So when they make the movie, they said he's going to be an experienced aged Batman with a decently experienced Robin. So they can just jump into whatever story they want to do with whatever comic book they want to use.
Right.
The issue with the MCU is that because they did the start was great, but now in the phase 2, when they actually want to like put fun stories in there, well, the issue is, one, a lot of the characters are gone. You already use them.
Right.
Like, Captain America, and then you have to figure out a way to bring him back, which Doomsday trailer. I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah.
But then
that could be a podcast in of itself.
But then
because boy oh boy, I have thoughts on that.
Oh yes. but then the issue is that also
it came out yesterday, time of recording, I think. So anyway, really fresh on our minds. It'll be like a week old by the time you see this. Don't worry, it's fine.
But then now that phase 1's over, like the next section,
right?
No one's interested in the stories because the characters that they like died, and it's like, we've already seen so much of the MCU. Why would we want to see more? Just end it. But now they're actually getting to the point where they can do stories that they want to do.
Yeah.
Whereas James Gunn's universe,
well,
the issue will be if somebody's watching it and doesn't understand a character, they won't be attached to the character, but at least you can just start with whatever story you want to start with.
And James Gunn is really unique in the way that he is a comic book fan making comic book movies.
He also has some hot takes I disagree with strongly.
Oh yeah. But the MCU, which, don't sue me, the MCU, they purposefully got directors and stuff that were not fans of the original characters.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
So like, I think James Gunn's like has a different philosophy where he's like, I want to do the comics. The MCU, their philosophy is, okay, how can we tack this character onto this particular story that we want to tell? And I think like the MCU does a pretty good job of that. It does a pretty good job of reinterpreting characters in a way that works for the universe they're building. And I think it's gotten a little bit stale for everyone now.
Yeah.
And I think that's why hopefully, unless weird stuff goes on behind the scenes, I think we're gonna see DC movies start taking off, because everyone's like, okay, we've had years and years of reinterpretations of characters, so now we're hungry for more comic book accurate, more stuff like that.
Well, James Gunn's philosophy is also interesting because, and this is something I mentioned to you that bothers me. I want to see an actual comic book accurate Justice League. The CW is close, but it's just a lot of the characters are missing.
Sure.
And there's certain characters that, like, Supergirl is more important than Superman. Doesn't really make any sense. Right?
Yeah. Well, and Flash Green Arrow just is Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no Batman, Green Arrow, and then the Flash is like the second most important character in it. Again, I personally like that part of it because I'm a Flash fan. But comic book accurate, that doesn't make any sense. He's not the second most important on the team.
Yeah.
Even if he is the most powerful. Hot take again. Anyways, moving on though. I want to see that, but James Gunn wants to do characters he likes. He wants to do a Clayface.
Right.
One. He wants to do Superman, which is Superman's good. You should start with Superman, in my opinion, or Batman. You have to choose one of those two. But Batman and Wonder Woman are getting pushed off to the side, and Flash is like non-existent at this point.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Well,
and that bothers me because I feel like
part
those are
of
the three
that is
characters
Ezra
that
Miller's fault, but
yes, I
almost
understand.
definitely.
James Gunn's coming into a difficult spot right now.
Uh-huh.
But if anything, what you need to do is a Batman movie next, followed by a Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And then do a second Superman movie if you're interested, and then go to Flash and Green Lantern and Aquaman, or Martian Manhunter. A Martian Manhunter movie would be hype.
It'd be cool.
But the issue is that he's coming in and he's doing movies that like Supergirl's second. Like, who cares? Like, I like Supergirl actually, so I'm whatever.
Yeah.
Like the character, not the movie. But it bothers me because he's like not doing it in the way that would be regular. You know what I'm saying? And like, so it's like, where the heck is Wonder Woman? Where's Batman? Like Batman specifically, where is Batman in this universe?
Yeah. Well, and it is interesting because from a number of things I've seen, we'll get back to Arrow in a second, but his sort of philosophy is that he's not necessarily reinterpreting the characters, but he's just making stories about the characters.
Right.
So it's like, and I think,
and the movies have been good so far. Sorry, that's another thing too. The Green Lantern TV series, I need to watch it. I don't know. I'm not going to rate how good it is or not.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that was a downfall for Marvel. And that's why in Doomsday, which we can talk about after, it's going to be a struggle because there's a lot of TV shows. And I think Loki's the only significant character for Doomsday that has a TV show. But the general audience doesn't watch the TV shows. So when they do introduce Green Lantern again, besides Guy Gardner, because they introduced Hal Jordan, I think it was, in the TV show, nobody's going to know who that is.
Yeah. Well,
because it's in a TV show and the general audience.
What the problem is that they're making, it's not that they're doing TV shows. I think it's that they're doing TV shows exclusive to streaming services.
Right. And they're different.
If they had Green Lanterns, which James Gunn, you're listening, obviously, make this happen.
Right.
When Green Lanterns comes out, the same time it goes up on the streaming service, release it on DVD. Right? Like, give people access to it. We don't all have enough money to pay for every single streaming service.
Right.
And I'm not paying for HBO or Max or HBO Max or whatever it's called now.
Well, but so from if you did watch it, you would understand the character when he comes in. And like, I know Guy Gardner's also in that show. But so great that you did Green Lantern, but I'm saying general audience who goes to a movie isn't going to know who that is.
Yeah.
Or have any connection to him or have understanding of him. Yeah. Which I guess is okay depending on how you bring him in. It just limits how you can bring the character in.
So,
sorry, I could talk about this all day.
Just two more concerns about Green Arrow.
Oh, yes, I have a concern too. Sorry.
About Green Lantern. And then we'll move back to Arrow. That's where I'm getting. So, I watched the trailer and I'm like, that is a weird direction for Green Lantern. So it's really weird watching Superman, and it seems like all of the characters are what you expect them to be.
Right.
And then watching the Green Lanterns trailer, and it's like, is that Hal Jordan? Is Hal Jordan like a sort of like scummy, crooked cop?
Right.
Like, when has he been interpreted like that before? Right. Other concern, why do you have Jon Stewart in a TV show and not make him played by David Ramsey, who played John Diggle in Arrow? He would do such a good job for that character. In fact, so much so that once they introduced him, all of the fans decided, yeah, he's actually Jon Stewart. And then the people who made the TV show were like, hey, they're right. He is Jon Stewart.
Right.
Perfect actor to play that character. It's a shame we never see him as that character. Right. But that brings us back to Arrow, what we're talking about.
Right.
Did you like that, how I pulled it out?
Yes, I love. So I have one dislike, a moral, and then my rating.
Okay.
Dislike? Do you have a dislike or
dislike. Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
My
dislike.
Yes.
The blood sample thing? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. You hack the system and they throw it out. Okay.
Yeah.
It goes so against Quentin's character, Detective Quentin, to not take something for himself. Like, seriously, think about this. There's a good amount of blood on the floor, and they take one sample, and then they just, what do they do? Like, clean it up. Also, why the heck does Oliver's mom not take some? That doesn't make any sense either. Because her whole thing is they're trying to get rid of the arrow. She wants the arrow to be gone. That's a pain in her butt, right? That's a pain for the villain of the TV show. Why wouldn't he get some of that for himself? That's a pain for him too. Now, granted, he might know. We don't know that yet, though, right? But there's so many characters that it goes against a character like not Felicity. Mora would have totally grabbed some of that. Just a tap. You don't need much in order to get a blood sample, right? And they get one thing, and sure, they get rid of that. I'll allow that explanation. But like, did they just clean up the blood? And like, why is nobody sampling it? Right. They can just say, "Oh, the police have some. We'll sample it that way."
Yeah.
What do you mean? You think the arrow wouldn't come and try to stop you? Right. That doesn't make any sense. It would make complete sense for Quentin just to take a dabble of it.
It
hide
also
it for himself. It doesn't. That was dumb.
It also kind of feels like they could have just said, "Oh, there's no blood," or not said that there was blood, and then it would kind of solve the problem of like.
Now you have to deal with it.
Right. Yeah. Also, just like thinking about that, how interesting would it be if Moira did take the blood and like she finds out who it is, and then the rest of the show is her knowing, but like not letting Oliver know that she knows,
and then also being like, "Wow, he tried to like attack me." And, like, yeah,
that'd be interesting. That's not what they did.
Yeah. So my moral. Do you have one?
Moral of this episode. I think I'm sort of making this up, so bear with me. I think the moral of the episode is that sometimes the people we love let us down.
This is
and
true.
Then sometimes it takes someone else saying, "Hey, maybe that person you love is actually, manipulative or doing this bad thing that's affecting you in a bad way." And it's of course Diggle and Oliver and Oliver's mom. That's the picture I'm painting. Though that might be the same moral I said last time. I don't remember. Anyway,
mine is help might not come from places you want it. That doesn't make it bad.
That's good.
A lot of times people just want help the way that they want it, and it comes different ways, and then they think it's bad because it's coming from something that they didn't expect.
Yes.
I also have sound after input. That's what you told me to write down last time.
Oh yeah.
What is your? I'm very curious what your rating for this episode is.
Yeah, man. I wish. It's hard to remember because I watched it so long ago.
Yeah.
And then was too lazy to watch it again. I think I really liked this one. I really liked the island stuff.
Oh, I love the island stuff this time.
Yeah, I'd say 7. I think
that's what you gave it. Nice.
Yeah,
I gave it an 8.5.
Okay.
This would be my second or third highest rated episode, tied with episode 1, and then the only episode rated higher is episode 9. Actually, 9. I gave it 9.
Okay,
which is funny.
Gotcha.
It's gonna be fun going through this later and doing the overview.
Yeah.
Looking at all this stuff.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that's kind of it for this episode.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're interested in James Gunn's universe, let us know what you think. Maybe I feel like I should crop that out and just make it a video of itself, because I feel like people will click on that won't click on the entire podcast. Anyway, thank you for watching. Link of a playlist or something up there. You click on it, comment, like. This YouTube channel you're watching this show on, it's my YouTube channel. I mostly talk about science fiction, and And this podcast is here for now. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.